From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
It is the second day of June 2009 on this Tuesday. I am Alex Jones, your host. We just started simulcasting at prisonplanet.tv. We will simulcast the last 2 hours and 52 minutes today of this 4-hour show that we do Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so much always happens over the weekend. I come in on Sunday evenings, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time at the end of one week and the start of the next to look at the week past and the week to come. So we are here 6 days a week live. Don't forget, here on the Genesis Network also, we have Jason Bermas live 9 to midnight out of these same studios. All 3 hours of that show is simulcast at prisonplanet.tv for the prisonplanet.tv members. And I was just thinking, we need to get Mike Rivero on for a couple hours on Jason Bermas' show. Those two, I would imagine, would make quite a team covering the news and information. Before I go to the illustrious Mike Rivero, who, by the way, has his own great WhatReallyHappened.com T-shirts you should get in supporting. You want it, you got it. Listeners had the idea for us to put the Gadsden flag, "Don't Tread on Me," "Unite or Die," "Live Free or Die," this same image of the rattlesnake. It had all three things under it on different flags. But this was the most popular, used by the Marine Corps and the Army, now listed by the feds as terrorism and as a reason to be taken into jail. Now, that's in the Homeland Security and MIAC documents. I have to tell you, I've been wearing these in public. I've been wearing the Minuteman shirt in public. And later, if I have time, I'll tell stories. Literally, I was at the IGA food place at like 9:30 at night when I was down at the beach buying pancake mix and milk. And I was buying a pad of paper because I was writing notes. And this is just one of many stories. And I was wearing the shirt that said "Live Free or Die" on it, similar to this Patriot shirt we have with the InfoWars wear to identify yourself with liberty lovers and to meet like-minded people. And all of a sudden, I had a security guard walk up. Nobody's around me. The place is almost empty. As I'm putting stuff in the cart, pens and a little pad of paper, I was actually buying this pad right here. And he came up and looked at the front of my shirt, looked at my back, and I almost said something to him, but I was all sunburned and brain dead and just wanted to go home and go to sleep, go back to the cabin. And I just kind of let him do it and, look at it, the front and back of the shirt. And then he kind of stood down and acted like he was looking at something and walked off. Because, see, they all get the reports. You got to watch somebody that's got a Minuteman on their shirt. You got to watch people that talk about the Bill of Rights and Constitution. So I hope everybody will get this shirt, and I hope we'll all wear it. It's available at Infowars.com. And stop being such cowardly slaves. If we give in to the chilling effect and give in to this demonization, then they're going to win. But they are the kooks. That security guard was a kook. The off-duty cops with their wives walking down the beach that would stop it and look at the shirts, and they'd be walking and looking and then kind of scared. And some of these guys were big guys, high and tight haircuts, and they'd kind of read it and look, and I'd go, "Hi, how you doing?" They'd go, God, here's one of them. He's with the founders. He's with liberty. He's with freedom. He's with the Bill of Rights. He's one of them. Oh, my God, he wants to kill me. He wants to. And, in a way it is. It is true that we're going to be enemies. You've chosen evil, the Soviet Nazi way. We've chosen the Republic. And so we are, I guess, enemies of the New World Order. And it's going to be a hot war. And I guess they realize I'm wearing the wrong colors. I'm wearing American colors. These guys just wrap themselves in the flags. They don't live it. They just use the flag as an excuse to urinate all over what this country stands for. So let me tell you, they are scared of these, and these federal reports have gone out to the smallest departments, and you want to see a vampire, having holy water thrown on them or a cross, this is the shirt, because this is a ghost. Every time they would see the Minuteman on my shirt, the other shirt, but let's punch that up for folks, it was as if they had seen a ghost, and I guess it was. Liberty and freedom is dying. There were Homeland Security trucks driving up and down the beach. You try to go to the National Seashore, they got license plate scanners everywhere. They ask you questions about why you're going to the National Seashore. This country is going into tyranny. Mike Rivero, good to have you joining us from Hawaii, sir.
Aloha nui nui nui.
What do you think of my contraband shirt? I mean, I'm evil.
Well, absolutely you are, and it looks really good on you. I have to say that at the same time. Some of the shirts that we have, we get these mixed reactions to. Pretty much everyone sort of gives a stink face with the Eat the Rich T-shirts. But the one about I survived the Bush economy and all I have left is this lousy T-shirt, that one tends to get a lot of laughs. But while I was listening to you, I have a suggestion, and I'll probably do this on my T-shirts, and you should do it on yours, is just something where instead of sort of being this confrontational image of us and them, is to include them into the issue, such as bailout means you are now on the hook for $100,000. So when the cops are looking at that T-shirt and they start thinking, yeah, that means me as well. The government is sticking me with all these hundreds of thousands of dollars of bills to give to the bank, and maybe start pulling them over a little bit more to our side rather than justifying their paranoia and their defensiveness.
Well, no, I agree with you. In fact, I didn't confront the security guard, but I mean, he came up, he was acting like he was buying something, then he walked right over and looked at my shirt and then looked at the back because they'd looked at me on surveillance camera and, come down to see this dangerous person with a Minuteman on his shirt. God forbid I wear this yellow one in public. But I thought that was made up and exaggerated. But I had all these shirts printed up, and now I'm wearing them around town and other places, and I'm experiencing it where these cops have really been brainwashed. And exactly, they're having their futures destroyed as well, Mike. They should want to stand with the Gadsden flag. They should want to stand with Paul Revere. I mean, how is Paul Revere bad?
Well, you're absolutely right, and the point is I think we need to start rethinking our approach to the ordinary man-in-the-street police, because you're right, they've been brainwashed, they've been given all these reports that say anybody wearing any of these T-shirts, we're the bad guys. So rather than reinforce that, I think we need to rethink some of our designs to where we say, you and I are really the same against this common enemy. Do you have $500,000 lying around you're not doing anything with? Because that's your share of the federal government's debt that they've borrowed and stuck you with the payments. And obviously it needs to be rendered much more simple and elegant for a T-shirt. But the idea is that if we don't reinforce these preconceptions they've been brainwashed with, we stand a much better chance of drawing them over to our side of the issues.
Well, I agree with you. A lot's going on. Greg Palast and others are reporting, basically breaking down the same thing that we've said, because we have the government documents. GM was planning years ago to move to China and Brazil and just, to become completely global. The media keeps billing it as if it's a bankruptcy and socialism and a government bailout. It's not. It's just like tax incentives for companies to leave the United States. This is a tax incentive, and under the NAFTA and GATT rules, under the World Trade Organization rules, General Motors cannot use bailout money to carry out U.S. operations. It has to be open to bidding and be spread out globally. And that's why they said they can't use the economic stimulus money domestically. It has to be spent internationally. And so to see GM fall, to see Chrysler fall in the last month, to see the government now saying they're going to buy up basically the newspapers, where do you see all this going, Mike Rivero?
Well, I noticed this morning that our manufacturing index continues to decline, and the bottom line fundamental truth is if you're not making products to sell, you cannot save the economy. It really does seem as if the government simply wants to buy up and own everything. It's amazing. The USSR fell and Russia became capitalist. Now we seem to be heading into this totally communistic, socialistic, fascistic state where the government will own everything. We'll all be technically government employees. But the bottom line is, if we're not manufacturing, if we're not making products to sell, we can't save this economy. We just can't. And every day we get another news report about how the banks are showing profits, not because they're really profitable, but they're playing more of these bookkeeping tricks to take all of these huge losses they're absorbing and somehow through the magic of numbers turn them around and say, see, this is really a profit, buy my stock. And it's rigging and gaming and patchovers. I don't think this economy can be saved, and I'm starting to come around more and more to this idea that you've been promoting, that this has to be intentional, that there's got to be something else behind it, because government is generally stupid, I will grant you. They can't be this stupid that they don't understand that taking the jobs away from working class America and the clients away from the middle class is what is pulling down our economy from the foundation upward.
Well, the reason that I've known this was by design was because, Mike, and I know you're not a dull knife yourself there in the drawer, that the IMF and World Bank are the international fronts for the private banking family syndicates